Everyone's talking about Jenna Ortega's performance in the hit Netflix show Wednesday. But did you know she's going to star in Scream 6? That's right. This legendary slasher franchise is getting a dose of fresh blood. More than blood, actually. Jenna has recently confirmed it'll be rich in gore. What has our new favorite actress gotten herself up to in the horror world? Will her Scream appearances be bolstered further by Wednesday's success? Watch till the end to find out. While better known today for her Wednesday performance, Jenna Ortega actually starred in Scream 5 as well. Jenna has some revelations for fans about what's up next. And they're messy. Jenna's recent Entertainment Tonight interview involved a lot of exciting revelations. Her main point, Scream 6 is going to get pretty gory. Now, that is a statement. Scream is a horror franchise infamous for its bloodshed, and her character, Tara Carpenter, is part of a lineage of horror greats. Much like Jenna plays alongside an older actress who has filled her role in prior generations, she now plays a generational successor to the horror heroine crown of Scream. Sidney Prescott is, as a character, an infamously iconic final girl. For those who may not know, this is a trope involving the last character standing being a female protagonist, often, but not always, overcoming the killer. Now, we have a new generation horror icon, Jenna Ortega, telling us about what we can expect from the latest installment in this franchise. She relays that she felt the directors Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette held back on the gore in favor of more traditional Scream kills. Now, however, she reports they're going all out, and it's potentially up to 100 times gorier. She also shared that beyond the blood, there's an evolution over her last Scream appearance, which was mostly a lot of screaming and crying on the floor. Where do you take a character who starts there? Why, only up, of course. And there's room to grow. Know how we mentioned the iconic Sidney Prescott earlier? As it turns out, Neve Campbell will not be reprising her role in this film. Is that due to some vital story development intended to occur between films? Time to pass the torch? Nope. It all comes down to contract negotiations. Campbell revealed she was forced to go because the offer did not equate to the value she felt she was contributing to the franchise. Long story short story, she wanted more money. Now, what does this mean for the franchise? Where can they head with a story that's not headless in terms of historical character development? Well, given that they're planning on giving Jenna Ortega more personal development and seriously upping the gore, it sounds like a two-pronged approach. They make the story better by giving characters sidelined in previous entries more room to breathe. In this sense, it's actually good Campbell bowed out. They will need to draw in viewers though, because is it really Scream without Neve Campbell? I'd say it comes down to presentation. But to get people back into seats, they're going hardcore on the gore. A big bloodbath for everyone to fixate their reviews on helps in horror. Now then, let's consider how Scream 6 has gone about dropping clues in an unconventional way. You never know what you're getting when it comes to non-traditional film promotions. They're the Chinese fortune cookie of marketing. While much has been made of how utterly formulaic the average Hollywood trailer has become, down to music cues and plot teases being timeable, there have been all sorts of unique marketing tactics used as of late. The new Matrix dropped a whole video game you could play in browsers that rival GTA for gameplay, for example. Social media accounts normally go hardest in the lead up to a launch, but there's a new factor to consider with this Scream program. Would you like to play a game? Is a very iconic horror phrase associated with everyone's favorite demented puppet, Jigsaw. Honestly, he's practically Muppet of the Year for me. But they actually used the phrase in a recent Twitter game. They asked us all if we'd like to play a game with that phrase, and @ed the New York Times Games account. This is actually a crossword puzzle drop. Bizarre, I know. Slasher horror blockbusters are not usually associated with slow word games. The whole Twitter business and accounts added is a nod to the fact that the franchise is moving to New York City for its latest installment as the survivors of the previous films flee for safety. They hope to start new lives away from the horror that befell them in Woodsboro for so many years. But Ghostface has caught up despite their best efforts. The puzzle does point to a major clue, however. There is a fictional Blackmore University that will serve as the film's setting. On top of all that, a Scream 4 special in the form of Kirby Reed returns. She's played by Hayden Panettiere, which will have fans of the older films hyped up. There are announcements and hints confirming that, as previously mentioned, Sidney Prescott won't be returning over salary negotiation issues. We're looking at a titanic change here. They've covered a lot of ground over the past 25 years with Campbell as the face and heart of the franchise. She survived a lot of horror struggles over that 2.5 decades, so we're sure she'll hack it just fine in another horror show. The acting market. Hopefully a little less blood will get on her in the process though. The clues do not end at the crossword, however. The poster itself alludes to quite a bit, with a twisted vision of the iconic Times Square at its head. Ghostface's visage is displayed across every conceivable billboard with a nice message to stab above a Christmas tree, indicating the time of year the killings begin. There's also an ad for aforementioned Blackmore University, which reaffirms we're having a college story. Scream 5 had 2 characters in high school, and it was an integral aspect of the setting, so Tara and the Meek twins going on to college is a logical expansion on the younger generation train. That is one hell of a spectrum shift for the kids to go from rural California to urban New York City. There is also a wrongly accused musical advertised in the poster, and it's been taken as a sign by many that the survivors will be wrongly accused for killings committed by Ghostface. In case you were hoping to hit Broadway though, pull a Taylor Swift and save the ticket money. There is no such play or movie in real life. It's not uncommon for horror franchises with a supernatural element to blame survivors for killings, because it's an easier solution than dealing with the horrible reality for authorities. Spooky ghost masked murderers are also not known for leaving lots of easily consumed evidence though, so it's kinda hard to blame them. If somebody told me they were running from a ghost who happened to stab all their friends with a bloody knife in hand, I'd probably tell them to wait 1 minute while I called the cops too. Longtime fans of Scream will instantly catch the deep cut poster at the top of the marquee Times Square banner. Stab. Stab is a fictional slasher franchise in parallel to Scream's own reality. This fictional series holds a light up to the tropes and tensions of the film and acts as a sort of fourth wall nod. Scream 5 actually had Amber and Richie committing murders as Ghostface to get more source material for the Stab films after they didn't like 8. Wow, talk about a tough crowd, huh? At least they're working to help those creatives get more content out there though. Talk about an engaged audience. Fans like Amber and Richie definitely playing the Stab crossword. Speaking of stabbing, it's time to pierce the like and subscribe buttons. Till next time, horror heads.